Hello, in this video we're going to look at creating a template for a pivot table, specifically for importing data into a pivot table. As long as the data is formatted the same, you can keep continually using this template for a project, or maybe your data always comes to you in this format. If you have data that fits into those categories, then this video is for you, because we're going to talk about how we can make things much more productive if we create a pivot table ahead of time based on a known format. So I just mentioned that my caveat for the template was based on a known format. So let's take a quick look and review what that means. In the previous videos, we had discussed how to create a pivot table, so I'm just going to glide over this really quickly just to give some context to what we're about ready to speak of. There's a few videos before this that go into detail, but really what we need to do is go bring in some data. So we'll go find our folder, open up the folder, and then now we're not loading anything in, so you don't want to expect to see any Excel files or anything. We're just pointing it towards this folder. This folder itself, if you were to look into it in a file browser, would show that it has a bunch of Excel files in it. So open that up. It's going to connect to it. It's going to bring in our data. I had spoken in the other videos sometimes that you want to, depending on how much you know about the data, sometimes you might want to combine and transform. I know we have good data here, so I'm just going to combine and load. It brings in all of our data. It's gonna give you a preview here of what the data looks like. This looks like what I would be expecting. Just okay. So now it brings in the data for us. So at this point, we're not even talking about pivot tables or anything. We're just you could do this for lots of things. The subject of this series is pivot tables, but if you just wanted to bring in a bunch of, let's see, 1,185 files, or I'm sorry, rows of data in really quickly, hey, this is the way to do it. So basically, what we did is we went in, we opened up each one of these folders, and then kind of like a cut and paste, and put in the contents of each one, not folders, files. Opened it up, cut and paste, put it in there. So it programmatically did that for us. So, and this is where we can talk about the pivot table. So we already talked about all that in the other video. So we're just gonna once again just kind of glaze over how you do it. So I just created a real quick pivot table, and then I brought in, so some of these, so it's based on this RSS or RSRP rating and the quality, so power and quality. So we're interested in 3 points on the power and 1 on the quality. So basically I just drag it in here 3 times, and that's how you get it. So it's just showing it 3 times. One of them is one, I want to know what the max signal is. I want to start with the average, max, min, and then the average of this one. So that's not terrible, and if you were doing this once, then this wouldn't be a terrible thing. But so what we're gonna do here is we just need to come over here and tell it that we want to change the values and that we want to give the average. And so we just say okay. Okay, so it's given the average. This one, we are interested in the maximum. So once again, we come over here to this one and say values, and then we say max. Okay, so it's giving us the max value of all this data. So let me back up here a little bit. So this is sorted on the bands. So of all of the information that came in here, there's these different bands. So what it's doing is it's looking at each one of the bands and sorting it out, and then giving us the information in And so there's um, these bands right here. Let's see, it's 20. So we have 20 bands that we're looking at, and then it's sorted through. So each one of these bands, it's measuring the signal power for them. So when it's scanning, it's just scanning it all and dumping it into like a raw data format. So we have, channel 1001, channel 800, channel 675. It's probably taken, I don't know, couple hundred readings in the walk that they did when they walked through the building, and then it's logging them. So now we're kind of summing them up, and so this would be the average signal level that they did. This would be the highest level that they, and then the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at we're gonna say what was the minimum level, and then we have this final one here. This is a little different. This is the quality, and I want the max, or not the max. I want the average of the quality. So I'll come over here. We have this average. Okay, so now we've got the data. It's really ugly looking. It's just all we've done is we have the data that we want, but we can do a lot better than this. These spill off the page. They don't need to be that wide, but when you make them shorter, you lose what the heading says and stuff like that. So it's a mess. And also, we really don't understand a lot about what each one of these is. So let me show you what it would look like if you took that data. So this is, and then you played around with it and you did a bunch of stuff, and then you made it look like this. This is the same data. All I've done is clean things up quite a bit. So this would be great if we could take all this information and then just continue bringing in. So we built this a template. So then we bring in the next survey that's in the same format as the other survey, and it will just load in, and we don't have to do any of this formatting or playing around with it or changing this to max, to average, to max. It's all here. It's all color coded. So when I say template, that's what I'm talking about. There's also the topic of how all this was done, and I think to keep this video short, and since I'm trying to stay on topic, I'm not going to touch that. I think I'm going to do a whole other video that talks about how you do this conditional formatting for the color. You can throw in these little signal bars and make it look kind of fancy here with make it look like a cellular signal with the bars and stuff like that. It's actually fairly easy to do once you get rolling. So we can talk about how to do the conditional formatting in another video, but I'm just going to keep focused on the template here. So here we have a template that we've built. So what we're going to want to do is, now that we have it the way we like it, we're going to create an actual template that we can save into Excel, and it will load up and it will be blank. And how do we import that data? So first thing we'll need to get rid of a few things here. This pivot table data, we could so it's already all highlighted. So if you got it all highlighted, just hit delete, get rid of it. And so what immediately happens is it doesn't hit right away. What you got to do is tell it to refresh. So now if I refresh, now I've lost it all. So that's actually a good thing. And actually, you know what? I forgot to show you one other thing. Let's see if I can bring that back. Okay, there's the stats. So there's also, and I'll talk about this in the video. But so there's a stats table that's also linked to the data, so you can get a quick visual on things. So that's there as well. So of course we'll lose that as well when we go ahead and refresh everything. So let's see if that refresh. Yep. So that we gone. That went. So we lost everything, which is actually a good thing because we don't want that there. And then this was when we imported the data initially. This was the folder that it pulled it from. So it created this tab for us. So that can be deleted as well for our template. Get rid of it. So at this point, we pretty much have everything the way we want it. Now, this would be something like we would just say building, so it keeps it kind of generic. Since we're creating a template, we'll say that building, and then this one also had it. And right here that we can for building, and then that's just kind of your cue that you'll need to update that when you are after you've imported the data. So that's we're pretty much at a template phase right now. So what here's the kind of tiny caveat with Excel that makes it, because it's good to save it properly and not just save it as a, you could, I mean, really call it like a poor man's template. You could just save it as an XLS file and then do it that way. But there's a better, smarter way to do it, and that's actually to save it as a true template. And that was some of the reason why I actually wanted to do this video, to show some of the method in doing this. So one thing you want to do is make sure that your template, come to options and then come down and look at save, and just make sure that your right here default is you have this set up. And the most important thing is you can dump it wherever, but you have to have custom office templates as the name of the folder that you're going to put it in. So now you're telling Excel when it opens up to look in this folder for templates. So once you have that, and then you come, so let's say you're starting from so you're starting you're opening up a new, and then if you come over to templates, and then this, you'll see I have it, and it brings the template, the file right to you, because it's right in the template folder, so it's looking in there. So I have a folder or a file in there called project tracker, and I have one in there called the cellular report. And so let's look at that. So if you look in that folder that we were just at, this custom office templates, that's exactly what we see. So it's just kind of giving us a lens into that folder, the cellular, and then this project tracker. So what we want to do is do that. So let's say that we're starting from scratch and you didn't have that. So you'll want to come up here and you want to save. And here is the thing about Excel, is it's not going to save it in the template folder when you do this. So first thing is you want to save it. This is the standard Excel SX that everybody saves their new Office stuff in. You're going to want to come down and grab Excel template. So now notice it didn't bounce you over to the folder where you wanted to be at. So what we're going to have to do here is the first time we're going to have to browse over to it and find that. And here we are. So we're going to go ahead and first of all fix the capitalization, and we'll just call this template. And we're saving it as with a little T for template. That's good. That's what we want to do. So now we say it contains external data. Automatically refresh that and clear the data. That's fine. All right. So now we've built our template. So let's close everything out. Open Excel back up, and you'll have to come up to more templates. And then in more templates, there's an office, and you want to be in personal. And that's that personal folder that you set up for yourself. And here's the two that we looked at, and here's the new one that we just saved. So let's grab that one. And here we are. We'll enable the content. And now we're here standing to bring in some data. So what we're going to do is, like we did in the first part of this video, we're going to say data, get data from file, and then grab it from a folder. Go ahead and open up the folder that you want to use, say open, and it's going to bring it in. As I've discussed in other videos, you can, depending on how much you trust the data, you can just grab it and take it as it is, combine and transform, or combine and load. If you're unsure, watch, that's one of the couple videos back, check, because if you load in data that's formatted wrong, the pivot table won't work. So that's explained in previous videos. So I know this is good. So I'm gonna say combine and transform the data. So it's gonna go grab it, gonna give you a preview. Yep, that's kind of what I expected to see. And then I'll say okay, and that brings in, and then watch this. It's gonna bring it in. Oh, not yet. It's gonna say okay, this is for real. How's it gonna look? And you're just gonna say close. And then, okay, so here it opened it up. So it created a whole new tab right here. So what we need to do is take the data from this new tab where it brought it in, and we do have to bring it over to the pivot table tab over here. If there's a way to load it into this one without skipping this step, maybe I haven't never been able to figure it out. So all you want to do though is this isn't too bad. Is just select all your data. So Control A. So since this is a table, it knows to only select what's in the table. Come on over to the pivot table one, and then just Control V. So, oh, did I forget to copy that? That was embarrassing. So you want to copy that. Now do Control V. There. Okay. So there's all of your. This is new data. So this is from a different RF survey raw data. So we're bringing in new data as opposed to the one that we used as an example before. Now we come over to pivot table, come up to data, and refresh all. And there you go. So it brought everything. You can see the levels are a lot lower in this building, definitely. So you definitely know you got new data. But also notice, see how it did everything for you. So you didn't have to mess around with telling it the average or changing your columns to make them look nice and pretty and everything. It's all here for you. And even the stats load in too. So that is an example of how you can create a template and then use as long as it's in the same format. That's the thing. So if you have data that's constantly coming in different formats, you have to create a new template for it. But this is a particular set of data that always comes to me in the same format. So that's why I was able to do it like this. But it's a heck of a big time saver. And so I think I'll make another video that will talk about actually how I did the conditional formatting and the stats. Some of this is a little advanced using this max if stuff and then bringing in filters to get the data. So if you're interested in how this is created and things like that, check out the new video I'm going to make. Thanks a lot.